So far in 2024, I've managed to test 9 pairs of running shoes, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 so far. So it's been a good year for running shoe testing so far. Out of the 9 shoes, I have picked my favourite 5, but all 9 have been pretty darn good. Now that's a good thing, because in a lot of previous years, I've had struggles where some of the shoes just haven't worked for me. I can't think of a shoe so far this year that I have not enjoyed. So I'm excited to share with you guys what my list is. We'll go through the 9 first, and then I'll whittle it down to the top 5. So on screen now, you'll see a list of the shoes that I've tested in mileage order. As you can see, at the top we've got the Hoka Max 6. Now this isn't in preferential order, this is purely how much I've used these shoes to show you guys the type of mileage that I've been logging in them. So starting with the Hoka, we rolled down to the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, the Saucony Triumph 22, and then just below the On Cloud Monster, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. So some good showings from Saucony shoes there. As I just said, the On Cloud Monster 2, along with the On Cloud Hyper, has also been tested. And then we've got the Nike Alphafly 3, the Brooks Ghost 16, and the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. So a good selection of shoes there. Obviously there's no Asics, Adidas, New Balance, just to name a few, but those are the big brands that I can think of. Haven't tested any of those so far this year, but hopefully that will change as we move into the second part of the year, because of course we're coming up to halfway through the year. So with these 9 shoes in mind, let's whittle them down, and I'm going to share with you what my top 5 are. So we'll kickstart things with the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4 coming in at 5th place, around 41.7 miles. Got the shoe back in February and I've had mixed fortunes with it, but overall I have really enjoyed the shoe. I went through some teething problems with the shoe where I did get a blister in between my big toe and my next toe, but that ended up being the fact that I had pulled the laces too tight right at the base of the shoe around the toe box. So I loosened it up, relaced it, changed the laces as well, because I didn't find the laces that came with the shoe to be any good, too stretchy. And I've had some good success with it since. I had a really fast workout in that shoe, which blew my mind, and I knew straight away that this was going to be a good shoe. I then had a race, which I was very grateful that I won the race. However, I didn't have the best experience in it. I felt like the shoes in a race environment weren't quite as poppy, weren't quite as exciting as I found the previous version, the Endorphin Pro 3. However, I still feel this shoe is right up there with some of the best shoes that I've tested. And I feel like when you've got the Endorphin Elite in the Saucony lineup for racing, this one had to inevitably be kind of tamed down a little bit, dampened, and I feel like the mixed foam that they've done this year has kind of just nullified things slightly, but overall I still find it to be a really good shoe, and it's really fast and extremely comfortable too. And very similar feelings towards the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. 122 miles though, so it's the second highest used shoe so far this year, and that speaks a lot, to be honest with you. It's good, but it's not great. And again, I find the same toe box issue that I did in the Pro 4 in the Speed 4. So I have again had to loosen the laces at the base of the shoe to allow my toes a bit more wiggle room. Didn't have that in the Speed 3, but what I did have in the 3 to the 4 was heel Achilles rubbing issues, which I don't get in the 4. So I feel like they fixed that issue, which was a big issue for me in the 3, but the toe box for whatever reason just isn't quite the same as it was in the previous version, but thankfully loosening up the laces at the base there does seem to do the trick. Now, I avoided speed work in this shoe for a long period of time and just used it for easy running, moderate running, and the odd long run here and there. But I finally, 2 weeks ago, I think, put a speed workout in the shoe, and it did really well. I was a bit worried about it. It does feel kind of flat, and it's not the most inspiring. It definitely is a far cry, for me anyway, from the Speed 1 and 2. However, it did really well. I was extremely surprised by it, and it just showed that the shoe still has some really good versatility. It doesn't inspire me to pick it up and run fast in it, but if you want to, and it's a 1 shoe rotation or a 2 shoe rotation that you have, and you need something that can do everything, this is definitely in this list that I'm about to share with you the best shoe for that. It can go through the gears. It did do well in the speed workout, and to be fair, it responded really nicely when I picked up the pace. So that's why it's there on the list, doing really well. And the Saucony Triumph 22 comes in 3rd place. So no Saucony at the top spot, but 3 in the top 5, which says a lot. I've really enjoyed the Triumph 22, surprisingly, because the 21 21 was a good shoe, but I just had other shoes in my rotation that I wanted to pick over this one. Now this time around I've got the 22 and I'm really enjoying it. It's a bit heavier, I think, if I remember, from the 21. The foam's changed up. It does feel a little bit softer for me, but then I've heard other people say differently. Again, body composition, size, weight, that all comes into consideration with these shoes. And as a taller runner and a heavier runner, I do feel like the shoe works well for me. I do find it softer and I do find it extremely comfortable. And to be honest with you, the 10mm drop in the 21 put me off, but it doesn't seem to be bothering me at all in the 22. So this has been my go-to easy day shoe. I'm not doing anything else in it. I'm not picking up the pace. I don't think I've even done a moderate run in it. And if I have, it was one back in the early days of testing. Since then, these 79 miles have been purely easy and recovery runs only. And yeah, I've been really enjoying them. They're going to hit the 100-mile mark. They're feeling really good, really enjoyable, and very, very impressive. They give me Saucony Endorphin Shift vibes, which is a shoe that I had, not particularly inspiring. That foam was a little bit firmer. This one is much nicer, but a shoe that you just pick up and you log miles in, and then suddenly you've got a ton of miles in them and you don't realize how you got there. So yeah, definitely a good workhorse shoe there for those easy and recovery days. And the Nike Alphafly 3 comes in second place, around 35, 36-ish miles. I genuinely can't remember the last time I put a Nike shoe on a top 5, top 10, top most used list, because I just haven't been enjoying their shoes of late. And I find that they do the most incredible super shoes, but their daily trainers are not very good. Which reminds me, I do have the Pegasus 41 coming in for testing. I am quite excited about that because I haven't tested a Pegasus since 37, but that's a side note. That'll be coming later in the week. But yeah, I just haven't enjoyed a lot of their shoes. But to be honest, this version 3 of the Alphafly is a welcome update for me. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it. They say, yeah, it's good. It's kind of getting back to what the 1 was, but is it worth the money? No, I think I'll stick to the 1. I get it, I hear you. For me, the 2 was so bad that I am really appreciating the 3 update. And again, it just works for me. The way I land, the way I strike, my weight, my cadence. I think it just works for me. I'm a heavier runner. I feel like I land almost directly on the pods. I feel like I get the most back from them. I run really fast in them. I've done a race in them and I've really, really enjoyed them. I feel like the Alphafly version 1 was a shoe that I just absolutely loved. The 2 was not for me. The 3 is kind of getting back to where it should be. Over the 1, I'm not sure whether the 1 or the 3 is better, to be honest. And I have run in the 1 recently and I didn't have any strong feelings over the 1 or the 3 as to which one I preferred. But all I'll say is I do really enjoy the 3. It is very fast. It does feel really good. And I'm glad that Nike are getting back on top of things with their racing shoes. And coming in top spot is the Hoka Max 6, 136.8 miles. A very enjoyable and surprisingly good shoe. Now I enjoyed the version 4, never tried the 5. So I'm not really surprised that I enjoy the 6 as much as I do, but it is good because in previous Hokas I've just found they die quite early. The Mach 4 for me was an exception. I did get it over 300 miles and I'm hoping to do the same with this one. I'm using it regularly. Often what I do a lot of times is I get a shoe to 100 miles and then I have to put it to one side to get other shoes tested and get those up, get some good miles in them. What I found with this one is I got it to 100 miles, I shelved it for a couple of weeks maybe, and I got it straight back out because it's just a really enjoyable shoe. And I'm still using it at least once a week at the moment during my summer speed training. It's just a great shoe. And just like the Speed 4, I took it for a speed workout. I think that one was around about 4 weeks ago. And you can see both of those videos on the Extra channel where I documented my thoughts and feelings on the Max 6 and the Endorphin Speed 4 and how they got on with speed. Again, I got to 100 miles in the Mach 6, didn't put a speed workout in, did it recently and it blew me away. And again, out of the Speed 4 and the Mach 6, I choose the Mach 6. I felt like it was better going faster. They've done a great job with the supercritical EVA foam. Again, it's just going to come down to durability and how long it lasts. But overall, it is an absolutely stellar shoe. So those are my top 5 running shoes of 2024. So far, I feel very grateful to have tested a lot of these shoes. Some have been sent to me by the manufacturers, some I've purchased with my own money. Either way, I feel like they've been 9 good ones. There's not one that I can say a bad word about. They're all at a decent 7 out of 10 level. Some are just better than others, which I feel very grateful for. And I do feel like I have a good rotation at the moment. I would love to hear from you guys. Don't say the Rebel version 4 because I know that one, but any other shoes that I've missed at the beginning of this year that you feel would be worth testing, and what are you excited about about as we come into the second half of the year. What shoes are going to be dropping at some point? Superblast 2, Saucony Endorphin Elite 2. Those are the ones that come to my mind. Not that I can test the Superblast, sadly, because Asics don't do my size. However, any other shoes, do let me know in the comments. It would be great to hear what you're looking forward to and what have been your favourite shoes of 2024 so far. That's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and I'll see you on the next one.